Hey folks, this is Z-Man with Kadesh Farm. I want to shoot a quick video to show some of the progress that we have against the Broomsedge here on our property. This is going on our third or fourth year. I have to actually try and figure that out. I think the third year or fourth year. And I've been battling Broomsedge here at this property. It was roughly it's ridiculously tall and thick. And we've been doing many different things to combat it. And it seems like the areas that I disturb the soil, maybe a top 1 or 2 inch till, not a deep till, or areas that I actually put a hay roll and allowed the cow to just bale graze in one spot as opposed to unrolling it, seem to have done way better as opposed to unrolling the hay. Now, mind you, I am working with one cow, and thank God I haven't purchased more. I would love to have more, just because of the shape of this property when we purchased it. I just didn't think purchasing more animals and spending more money on hay. Yes, I could be a whole lot further ahead, but I'll be a whole lot deeper in debt with purchasing a lot more hay to try and just build what we want. I'd rather just take my time. Yes, time is ticking away, but I'm learning a lot, and I'm able to share with you guys some of the successes that we've had with the different type methods that I've used. I've burned, which we really needed to do that when I first bought the property. I have, of course, in the beginning did the soil sample. I tilled this strip down through here when we first bought the property, just to do a trial run. I'm kind of glad I did, because it seemed to have done pretty darn good for me. If you can see on both sides of it, it still has Broomsedge, and right down the strip, it's about a 40-50 foot run that I did do a strip on when I first bought the property. Actually, I had some old seeds and I put them down for deer hunting, and it was kind of dry time, but when it did rain, we got a lot of clover and whatever other kind of mixes that we had, but it stayed consistently better than both sides of it. And then about a year or so later, I took a round bale, as you can see the round area right here, and I set it there, and look how much taller and better that grass is doing. I also put different mixes of grasses in this. You can see some of the sunflower stubble. If you look at some of my past videos, I had a lot of turnips and different things growing in this spot, and it actually did better in the summertime because it was able to hold the moisture, and it just blew my mind. And I started doing a lot more research. Let me go turn this water off. Started doing a lot more research, and I think out here with what they did with this property was mostly just baled hay, did no kind of work on trying to make it better. And I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of soil compaction. So me tilling that strip allowed soil, air, and let me turn this water off here. Allow air and moisture to seep down into the ground better. If y'all could just hold on a bit here. There, thank you. It allowed it to get air down into it to help with the microbes, and also allow moisture to penetrate the soil deeper. And with that layer of old hay, it was able to maintain the moisture, and we actually had some pretty good growth in that area. And you can see that strip all the way down through there. I'll walk back over here, because I will have to turn right back around and go back and turn that water off. I need to walk anyway. I'll take you to the beginning of the strip. This area here, I left it. It used to be pretty thick in Broomsedge. You see little bits in it, but I did till this whole area before my tiller my PTO on my tractor tore up, and the broomsedge is not as thick as it used to be. I allowed this patch to stay right here because it has always been in a thorny patch, and I left it for rabbits, and we do have a lot of rabbits out here. But if you could take a look at this strip, I mean, it's amazing. 2 or 3 years ago when I tilled that, it's still way different than both sides of the field. So my goal is to buy me I forgot the name of the contraption, but it basically pulls plugs out. You put weight on it and you just drive it around your field to remove plugs, to open up the soil and get moisture and air into it. Because I would love to be able to till this entire 30 acres, but that's impossible. I could do it bit by bit. Certain areas don't need to be tilled, but I just found that me disturbing the soil just a little bit and either putting seed on it or just kind of letting it do its natural thing to see what's in the seed bed has done me a lot better. Also, doing bell grazing, like that area right there, especially when it comes to planting pumpkins, is able to maintain the moisture, and it's actually done us pretty good. So if you have a piece of land that is full of broomsedge or a bunch of undesirable plants and you want to build up the soil fertility, you could unroll like I have. I've unrolled. This is no way near like when we first bought the property. And I did a lot more unrolling in that area. Unrolling did help, especially if I unrolled it and I allowed it to be pretty thick. But bell grazing seemed to have sped the process up. As you can look at this area right here, I mean, it's just amazing. And I don't know if you can see way down there. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in. Oh, Molly, she's down there eating some hay that I have. And that whole area, that end, is I probably have put 10 or 12 round bales. I've just been moving them just close to each other to have a pretty thick layer, because as we were feeding her hay bales, we were also throwing pumpkins out there. We did have some pumpkins to sprout, which I hated that they sprouted already because we got 2 freaking cold days coming up. Monday night supposed to be 21, and I think Tuesday night 28 degrees. So what little bit of sprout that we do have is probably gonna get zapped by the cold. But hopefully this spring, when the ground and the threat of frost is gone, we'll start seeing a lot more pumpkins pop up, and I'll move her closer on this end over here, and because she had plenty of grass out here, to just see how it does with the pumpkins. I know they'll do good because they've always done pretty good in the past. Whenever we planted our pumpkins in a area where she had grazed and there was a lot of leftover hay left on the ground, good material, soil building material, it has always produced great pumpkins for us. Thank God that we had a water line. If you can look at some of my past video, had a water line. You can see the intersection right there of the water line, and it goes throughout the entire bit of the property, and it served us pretty good. We don't even have to worry about water pipes freezing anymore because they're all underground, and it's worked wonders. Yes, I could put the Job water system on my tank, but I'm always afraid, since we're so far away, if something happened and water's running for a day or two, like I did once, and that was a $300 bill. I just don't want to have to deal with that. So it's a lot easier for me to come out and fill up the tanks and run a long hose and just work off this perimeter of this area with that hose. I got more hoses if I needed them. Dealing with one cow again. Our goal is to get more, but I have to get so I'd rather have more grass than I do animals. Our sheep are way up there. We have them, you can see that white male up there, along with the other sheep. They're itching to get on this side. We don't have any livestock dogs out here to protect them. My neighbor has a dog that we swapped her for a ram, and she's actually doing a pretty good job of protecting this area. But we have a little ways to go, And as I always say, I enjoy the process as we are moving right along. You can see this green strip is where the water line was, and I put hay and I seeded it and did all kinds of wonderful things to get us in the direction that we need to go. We do have a lot of good growth out here. As you can see, the big difference from over here to here. I may have used a drag to seed this area. I just feel like any type of soil disturbance when it comes to dealing with broom sedge is going to be advantageous and get you a lot further ahead. Broom sedge is one of those persistent plants that if it's poor soil, God has a way of filling in the gaps. And I think broom sedge and Sericea lespedeza, they're those plants that like to fill in the gaps. And we've been just chugging right along. I kind of got her into different sections in here. I left this area. I'm debating whether I'm going to either burn it, cut it, or just let it be. I've burned this field before, and since I've been burning and doing a lot of work out here, we have a lot more turkeys out here. I'm not so much a turkey hunter, but I just may become one. You know, you got to keep that flock in check, or bring somebody out here to turkey hunt. It's just things out here that we're doing to get us where we need to be. Our goal is to focus more on sheep than we are on cattle, but also provide some cattle for us for our consumption and maybe one to sell. But our main focus will be sheep because we have two different flocks. So we're starting a herd here, flock herd. We're starting sheep here, and also a larger herd or flock at our homestead in a different area. I want to thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a bit, of course this wind is blowing like crazy out here. It's been a bit since I've shot video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that like button. This is Z-Man, and I'm out.